Good morning, brothers and sisters of Christ. Welcome to another Reading to the Bible series with Law of Christ Ministries. This is part 238 of our daily scripture reading, continuing in the book of 2 Kings. And let's go ahead and continue. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, Hosea, son of Elah, became king in Samaria over Israel for 9 years. And he did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, yet not like the king of Israel who were before him. Salmanazar, king of the Assyrians, went up against him, and Hosea became his slave and returned to him manah, or a tribute. And the Assyrian king found injustice in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to Segor, king of Egypt, and brought no offering. Okay, why does it say manah? That's so weird. No offering to the king of the Assyrians in that year, and the king of the Assyrians besieged him and bound him in a prison house. And the king of the Assyrians went up in all the land and went up against Samaria and laid siege against it for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the Assyrians king captured Samaria, and he exiled Israel to the Assyrians and made them dwell in Halai, in the harbor at rivers of Gozan and Oreh of the Medes. And it happened because the sons of Israel had sinned against the Lord, their God, who had brought them up out of the land of Egypt and under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And they feared other gods and walked in the statutes of the nations whom the Lord drove out from before the sons of Israel, both the kings of Israel, as many as did it, and the sons of Israel, as many as clothed themselves with the words, not just against the Lord their God. And they built for themselves high places in all their towns, from tower for watchers to strong city. And they erected for themselves steels and grooves on every high hill and under every woodland tree. And there they made incense offerings on all the high places, just as the nations whom the Lord exiled from before them. And they made partners and engraved to provoke the Lord to anger. And they served the idols of which the Lord had said to them, "You shall not do this thing to the Lord." And the Lord testified in Israel and in Judah by the hand of all his prophets, every seer, saying, "Turn away from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes and all the law which I commanded your fathers, which I sent to you by the hand of my slaves, the prophets." But they did not listen, but hardened their back more than the back of their fathers, and his testimonies that he testified to them, they did not keep, but went after the worthless things and were rendered worthless, and after the nations that were around them, of whom he had commanded them not to do any accordance with these. They forsook the commandments of the Lord their God, and made for themselves something cast, 2 heifers, and made grooves, and did obeisance to all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they conducted their sons and daughters into fire, and they were divining and practicing ornithomancy, and they were sold to do what was evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. And the Lord became very angry with Israel and removed them from his face, and none was left except Judah's tribe alone. And indeed, Judah did not keep the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they practiced. And they rejected the Lord among all the offspring of Israel, and he shook them and gave them into the hands of those who plundered them until he had banished them from his presence. For only Israel was from upon David's house. And they made Jeroboam, son of Nebat, king. And Jeroboam drove out Israel from behind the Lord and made them sin great sin. And the sons of Israel walked in all the sin of Jeroboam that he committed. They did not depart from it until the Lord removed Israel from his sight, just as the Lord had spoken by the hand of all his slaves, the prophets. And Israel was exiled from upon its own land to the Assyrians until this day. And the Assyrians king brought from Babylon the people from Kaunta and from Aiah and from Haimath and Sepharauyan, and they made them to dwell in the cities of Samaria instead of the sons of Israel, and they took possession of Samaria and dwelt in its cities. And it happened at the beginning of their sitting that they did not fear the Lord, and the Lord set lions among them, and they were killing among them. And he told the king of the Assyrians, saying, the nations that you exiled and placed instead in the cities of Samaria did not know the judgment of the God of the land. And he sent lions against them, and behold, they are putting them to death because they do not know the judgment of the God of the land. And the king of the Assyrians commanded, saying, bring from yonder and let them go and dwell there, and they shall enlighten them about the judgment of the God of the land. And they brought one of the priests whom they had exiled from Samaria, and he stayed in Bethel, and he's enlightened them how they should fear the Lord. And nation by nations were making their own gods, and they put them in the house of the high places and places that the Samaritans had made, nations in their cities, them in which they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made, so Cuth Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashima. And oh my Lord, how do you say these names? And the Aviites made Ebelazar and Tharthuk, the Sepharvite, burnt up their sons in fire to Adramelech and Anamelech, gods of the Sepharvaim. Oh Lord, I'm sorry, I sound retarded. And they were fearing the Lord, and they caused their abominations to dwell in the houses of the high places that they had made in Samaria, nation by nation, in the city in which they dwelt. And they were fearing the Lord, and they made for themselves priests of the high places, and they acted for them in the houses of the high places. They were fearing the Lord and serving their own gods, according to the judgment of the nations there where he had exiled them. To this day, they were acting according to their judgment. They fear, they act according to their statutes and according to their judgment and according to the law and according to the commandments of the Lord, commanded the sons of Jacob, him whose name he made Israel. And the Lord had made a covenant with them and commanded them, saying, you shall not fear other gods, you shall not do obeisance to them, and you shall not serve them, and you shall not sacrifice to them, but only to the Lord, who brought you out of the land of Egypt with great strength and with a high arm. Him you shall fear, and to him you shall do obeisance, and to him you shall sacrifice. And the statutes and the judgments and the law and the commandments that he wrote for you, be careful to observe them all the days, and you shall not fear other gods. And the covenant that he made with you, you shall not forget, and you shall not fear other gods, but only the Lord your God you shall fear, and he will deliver you from all your enemies. And you shall not listen to their judgment that they practice. But these nations were fearing the Lord, and they were subject to their carved images and indeed the sons and the sons of their sons do to this day as their fathers did. All right, guys, we're going to stop there for today. Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Peace and blessings.